Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We're breaking down our thoughts from the debate last week. I had a great time. You know what I'm going to have to do here just to make sure that I remember everything that I was thinking as I was throwing Facebook bombs out there a little bit. Oh boy, Mike Huckabee had a horrible debate.
I agree.
Mike Huckabee, we can sort of kind of group them a little bit. I think the folks that I thought did really well. You had your Carly Fiorinas, you had your Chris Christie's. I would still put Marco Rubio in the second tier along with Jeb and Trump. And then the third tier, you had your Huckabees and Rand Pauls and Scott Walkers and Ben Carson a little bit. I mean, he didn't talk for like an hour and a half. Ben Carson didn't answer a single question like an hour and a half. And every chance that Huckabee got was he tried to bring the love back. I love these people. I'd be happy to have anybody in my cabinet, blah, blah, blah. And yet couldn't answer a single question in a serious way. Well, not in a serious way.
He answered. My perspective is that he answered these questions, and I think he answered them well. But he spent a lot more time doing the love thing than I think he should have. I think if you get up there and you say it once, listen, we're all philosophical brothers, or however you want to say it, and then move on and say, but these are their ideas. And those might be good ideas. These ideas are mine, and I like my ideas, and I think they're better. I think he'd have served himself better if he'd have been more direct in answering the question. Mm-hmm. Because that's really what people are missing. We know, especially in Iowa. We get political talk all the time. We want somebody to talk straight to us, and I don't think Mike did a good job that time.
So we kind of been dancing around the leader of the pack, your front runner, the guy that I know that you go to bed rubbing the replica troll doll that is Donald Trump for good luck.
I'm not supporting it.
I know you're not. I'm giving you a hard time. But he just was not good. He was not. It was fun. But that crowd was not a Donald Trump crowd. He got booed a couple of times. I don't think he knew what to do. No,
I think when Carly Fiorina, I think it started when Carly went after him. As soon as Maddie switches over to cameras, there we go. So, but because I have to be on screen all the time.
Yeah,
that's me. But I think as soon as Carly went after him and zinged him a couple of times, and then everybody did cheer. There were a lot of people cheering for Carly getting after him. I think at that point he was kind of stunned because he's never had to deal with that, right? He's used to dealing with business and the rest of it and then moving on, and it's not really all that personal. And suddenly here are these boos that are personal. I think that got him. And then Jeb Bush came after him, got him a couple of good times too, and a couple of times real good too. And I think that kind of stunned him. And so I think it's just one of these things where he wasn't quite prepared for that since he likes dominating the debate. It's like, I forget who said, I think it was Bill Clinton. It's hard to debate when you got a fist in your mouth. And I think that's his style of approach, and it didn't work. People got him instead of him getting somebody else. So I think that's it. Let's talk a little bit more about Cruz and why he insisted and pandered to the right, the Christian right, not just like liberal Christians, because there's a bunch of liberal Christians. Well,
that's
so. Why do you think he did that? I mean, honest to goodness, you hit it right on the head. I mean, he's gambling. He's going hard for the stigmata, right?
That's his wheelhouse, man. And honestly, Ted Cruz is banking like so many ideological politicians in the past. It's more fun to make fun of the Republicans for doing this because it's been more recent in the last, last few decades. But the liberal folks used to have these kinds of people too, who were driving that ideological bus so hard and so fast that they sound like cartoon characters. And I don't want to throw any mud at any religious person.
Because we're talking specifically about these politicians pandering.
Right. I'm not getting into the religion piece of it. I'm not getting into the politics of religion or anything like that. But it's just Ted Cruz is trying to speak to that brand of conservative that would rather have someone as pure as the driven snow than a real politician, a real leader.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and once again, no disrespect, we'd love everybody to be as virtuous as Ted Cruz pretends to be, or wants to convince people that he is. But that's not how the world is. That's not how politics work. And I think that most folks that are honest about what they believe and how they want to affect change in the country would accept that.
Yeah, my personal opinion is we know Steve Deace has been unabashed about, listen, I support Ted Cruz. And we both know that Steve Deace carries a giant following of hardcore right-wing Christians. And I think that's exactly what he was trying to do. He was trying to reach out to those very same people and say, listen, here's what I am. You need to get behind me. And I think that's what that was all about, because other than, geez, I'm a Christian, I didn't get very much substantive out of it.
But see, and then we've talked about this for the last 3 years, I feel like. That is not enough anymore in Republican politics. George W. Bush was the last one of your team that handled that was able to mobilize, get the religious folks behind him and really turn that into a coalition. With the deep libertarian turn that the Republican Party is making, there aren't enough religious conservatives to keep anybody that is banking on that viable.
Yeah,
because the libertarians don't dig it. They don't want to listen to it.
Well, plus we've said this 100 times on the show. There's 10 candidates that all look pretty much the same. They're all right wing. They're all Christians, and they're splitting that Christian vote. And I think he's trying to solidify it. The other thing I think that's going on is, these debates do help straighten things out. But like my brother Joe pointed out, being a politician is different than showing good leadership. And I think Cruz is out there trying to say, hey, listen, I can get this leadership going. Now, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're going to come back, finish up our discussion about the debate, and then that'll probably take the next segment. Then the segment after that will be that kid, I think his name's Ahmed Mohammed. Mm-hmm. Hopefully I pronounced that correct, with that suitcase clock. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Be back right after this break.